So the Lord woke me up really early today. I think it was like 2 or something. But so I've been up for a while. I think it's like 4 o'clock now. Got the Perfume of Nations going on the side here. It's Taiwan is up. Got to witness another transition. Like I say, I don't know how many of those I've seen. Right. So one worship team hands it over to the next. So uh, but anyway, so it's good. So that's playing in the background. The Lord also had me take a walk already. So it's dark, it's cold, but I obeyed. So went out and just it's like, okay, well, what's going on? What do you want me to experience? So by the kind of third lap, if you will, or as I'm walking around with the Lord and I'm talking, praying, connecting, um, my sense was that the Lord was like, because I was like, okay, Lord, what do you want me to experience? I'm here. I'm doing what you're asking me to do. Where are you? And He's like, well, I'm all around you. One, but most importantly, I'm in you. So, and I don't know if this is just for today, but He's like, I want you to begin to shift your focus to connecting to me from inside. I don't fully understand that yet, but just like rather than looking for me externally, look for me internally, inside of you. So that's pretty cool. I don't understand it, but okay, I'll press into that at least this morning or today. Then I'm kind of cruising the internet, ran across Sean Bolt's. He wrote something down here I resonate with, and it's I declare you will give birth to every promise God has put in your heart. I really resonate with that. Um, then just before for this one, Doug Addison posted something about that this is a season where things new things are being birthed. So I resonate with that as well. So yeah, so I don't know if that's just me or that's a few of us or that's a bunch of us. I don't know, but I'm just going to press in to what I'm sensing the Lord's asking me to do, and yeah, and just pressing in for more of Him. Something else from this morning's, I don't know, devotional time or time of reading, and just and just hanging out with the Lord was this recollection of the parable of the talents, right? So the one where the master gives 5 talents to one servant, 2 talents to another servant, and then 1 talent to another servant. Then the master goes away, comes back after a time, right? And then right, so the servant that was given the 5, went out, and then he invested it or something, and then he brought back to the master not just the original 5, but another 5, and then so to the second one, but then the last one didn't do anything with it, and then he brought back just the one, and then he was chastised by the master, and all that was he had was taken away from him. So for me, that parable, I've at least in this season or at this time for me, I am cautious or worried, or I'm not sure. But so I don't want to be that last servant. I don't want to be the one that was given one and then didn't do anything with it, that buried it, and then when the master returns, just here's the 1 talent that you gave me. So yeah, so it's not like I'm striving to do anything else, but I really don't want to be that last servant. I don't want to be the one that everything's taken away, and I want to be the one that's invited into the master's happiness. I had a pretty cool time last night with Graham Cook. Um, so he's got this live series that has been going on for the last couple of days. I can't really watch the live version, but I'll watch kind of a recording of it afterwards. So I watched it once in kind of the afternoon, and then I listened to it again later on, kind of early evening, and kind of just let it play. And there's a lot in it. So I kind of so with him, I just kind of like listen, I soak up, and it's and a lot of sometimes the points are, deep points or things to ponder, and sometimes they come rapid fire. So yeah, so I might end up listening to it a third time again sometime today. Not sure what's happening with uh, like what's on TV these days, but for some reason there's been like these series of documentaries on past wars. So like the Vietnamese War, World War II, documentaries about Hitler and the Nazi stuff in Europe, um, the stuff in the South Pacific with the Japanese during World War II, and then the Roosevelts, right? Kind of also during that era. So just interesting. I don't know. I don't know if it's because we're coming up on Memorial Day, but it's almost like every day there's been kind of this rollout of these war documentaries. So I kind of watch. It's interesting. It's historical. So I've been watching it. And then with those documentaries, I'm not sure what my fascination is, but there is something that resonates in me about uh, war conflict, right? And especially these world wars, right? So it's just the millions of people that are involved. So millions of people die, millions of people are killed, innocent people are killed. Um, there's just this power struggle, right? Um, different political or ideologies, people trying to exercise, their point of view, by force, trying to take things over through power. Just very interesting to me. Again, not sure what that is, but there is something that resonates with me inside, and it could be just the fact that there's this battle going on, huge battle, right? So whether it's World War One, whether it's World War Two, whether it's the Vietnam War, whether it's the conflict in Europe, the conflict in the Pacific, but just great huge conflict, and even like I'll use a micro example of like in the Pacific, there would be these islands that would be, that were occupied by Japan, and then even the U.S. coming in and trying to take over those islands. Great battles happen on each of those islands, so thousands of people are killed. Just horrific in some ways. But I think the gist of it is that there's a great battle going on now in the spirit, and so this gives me kind of an eye. Maybe this is the Lord's way of giving me a picture of something that I can relate to, um, of what's happening in the spirit in this moment. So I've kind of been feeling this the last couple of days that there's this great conflict going on, unbeknownst to me and maybe a lot of other people, or maybe people are aware. I'm not sure, but that so there's this great battle, right? So the enemy's trying to force his, he wants whatever he wants, and the Lord's like, the Lord has um, kind of his plan, and both things can't happen, So when, so in order for one to happen, there needs to be conflict, and then there needs to be resolution. So I think right now we're just kind of entering into, or we're in the middle of major conflict. All right, I have to confess or admit something. So yesterday I was really looking forward to Joshua Fowler and I think one of the first of 10 days of crossing over, right? So global gathering, and so I tuned in, right? So it was, so I think it was 12 o'clock, Pacific time, and I couldn't get into it. I think the sound was off. For me, it was, I think, like, I think typically he'll do stuff out of his house, and he might not be, in his home studio, but the sound was off. It was hard to hear. The lighting seemed theatrical, rather than natural. So I just I couldn't even get into it. So a little bit of disappointment for me. Bless him, bless the process. Yeah. So we'll see. But there's so much other things going on, right? So even with that, I'll just say disappointment, personal disappointment. I was able to let's see, was it Chuck Pierce, right? So I rolled up on something that he posted, and it was only about 6 minutes long, but it was about his conviction, and I really resonated with that. And then again, I had subscribed to this Graham Cook thing, and so I really got a lot out of that. In fact, I haven't even received to the full on that one yet. So again, there's a lot going on, but I think I have to watch myself as it relates to expectation or how I think things are gonna happen, and just like hey, um, and I just thank the Lord that there's so much variety that okay, you know what, hey, if one thing doesn't work out, I'll go on to something else. And really, my pursuit is for more of God, more of Him, and to go deeper with Him, and for me to connect. I think originally, or maybe a couple of days ago, it was like I want to grow in joy, right? I think right. So that was kind of my theme. Maybe it's a little bit broader now, where I just want to grow, or maybe not even grow, but I just want to dwell in a deeper way. I want to know in a more comprehensive way uh, the ways and the times and the seasons of the Lord. My eyes have been opened, within the last few days or hours, that I know very little, or I comprehend out of a very thin way. So I want to grow in that. So as I said, that I was maybe an internal picture for me was that maybe rather than growing out, if you will, or expanding, I don't know, just in my mind's eye or in my imagination, rather than growing outward, if you will, or expanding, as if you're expanding territory, expanding boundaries. It's it is that, but maybe it's not going outward. Whether it's forward or to the right, to the left, but maybe it's expanding but going deeper. At least for me, right? So I want authenticity. I want depth. So I think my pursuit of the Lord is in the greater depths of my being, and I want to more fully know, comprehend, and understand His ways. And I want to experience Him in the depths of that. So we're in that pre-dawn time of the day. This is kind of my favorite time of the day. So it's about quarter after 5. Yeah, it's starting to get light out, but it's not sunrise yet. But anyway, so I had so just now, so I thought, hey, I'm gonna try to find this resource, right? So I'm just kind of walking around, and then I kind of thought, oh, hey, there's something that looks like it might be um, this thing I'm looking for. So we reach down, and it's like, okay, it's not what I'm looking for, but so it's kind of, so it's on Sozo, and so I'm trying to so I pull it out, and as I pull or I try to pull it out, and so it's in this bag, plastic bag. I'm trying to pull it out, and I can't actually pull it out. So it gets kind of tangled on like part of the plastic bag, and I'm like, what's going on? And I kind of know immediately, okay, I think the Lord doesn't want me to pull this out. But of course, I'm like, oh, but I think I'm gonna need this or whatever. I'm trying to rationalize, what I'm doing, and then I'm having the devil of a time trying to get this thing not caught or loosen it up. Anyway, so so I finally get it out, and then I notice, um, like my arm is now covered with kind of cobwebs. And I'm like, this is not good. So I put the book down, and then I kind of had a sense, and so the Lord's like, I try to tell you not to pull this thing out. So the essence of the, I mean, it's not about the social thing, but it's just, so for me, I think he's telling me, as he's been telling me through these last few days and weeks, is, hey, we either have already entered or we're entering into a new season, not just new season, but new era, right? And then, right, so, and the old ways do not apply in this new era. They were good, before, but they're just, you just can't, or this is again for me, so I'm not, it's not about any prior methodology now, not, it's just, for me, the Lord is saying, you need the new wine. So there's a bunch of things happening, right? So then, uh, so it's just, so it's, some of the imagery is, so, and maybe again, just for me, so maybe I'm coming out of a season of wilderness. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I'm just using this as an illustration. So if I'm coming out of a season of wilderness, or like the Israelites coming out of that season of wilderness, and we're in the season of crossover, right? So we're in the season of crossover, and if we're supposed to take possession of the promised land, if we take the ways and the methodology of how we operated in the wilderness and we try to apply them in the promised land, it's not going to work, right? So this is just for me. Maybe I'm not saying this for everyone, but this is what resonates for me in this time as I'm crossing over, as I'm trying to take possession of the new land. That the Lord's asking me, lay stuff down. Don't take anything with you. So that's a good thing, right? So again, so for me, so there's also a theme too of, so every day is new, right? So I think that's Lamentations 3, right? Things are made new every morning. So for me, it is again for an illustration for me personally, it is um, like when the Lord provided the manna, right? He provided it every day, so it was new every day, and you collected it and you used it that day, but you didn't collect more than the day's worth, right? So that was just manna, but it was there every morning, new manna every morning. So for me, the Lord is telling me, look, this is a new season, and just trust me every day. I will provide for you every day. Not only will I provide for you every day, but the way you seek me, and the way that you dwell with me, and the way that you connect with me, and the way that you abide with me in this new season, in this new era, is different. So I think my struggle currently, as I'm crossing over, as I'm not yet into the promised land, as I'm not yet where I want to be, is I'm struggling with, well, how do I do this now? I knew how to connect before, or at least I thought I did. So, but now as I wake up every morning, as I'm trying to connect, I'm I'm trying to find my way, right? I'm trying to, well, what's the methodology? And just using that word as a way of, how do I connect? Lord, things are different. How do I connect with you today? How do I connect with you in the moment? How do I dwell with you today? And for me, I think the Lord is continuing to impress on me. Yes, it's not a methodology, but the pursuit of a new thing is good. So the essence of what I'm doing is good. So the way, so right, so he's waking me up pre-dawn. I mean, so yesterday I think it was 3 o'clock. Today it was 2 o'clock. And I don't really care what time it is, but when he's waking me up, okay, get up. The Lord's asking me, get up, walk with him, talk with him, dwell with him, abide with him, and then just soak up in the moment. Well, what is he trying to tell me in the moment? What is he trying to tell me today, in this morning, in this new day, in this yeah. So every morning, that's what I'm going to be doing, is just getting up, connecting to the Lord. Okay, Lord, what do you have for me today? um yeah, so we'll just see how it goes. I'm going to continue to press in. So as I'm sitting with the Lord in the moment, um I so a couple of kind of impressions came up, and the first one was that right. So I want to seek and experience the Lord in a new way today, different than I did yesterday, different than I would did the day before. Um, and so I something came up, and it was, I think it was a something got stirred up yesterday as it relates to, okay, so how do I experience the Lord through Scripture? And I don't think I have done that yet. So I think I'm going to kind of try to step into that this morning and see what transpires. So I think I got a little sidetracked. Um, yeah, so I sense the Lord was like, hey, um, let's go outside. So this is what I call it. It's just me. So I call it, okay, let's go walk about. So for me, that's just, hey, I'm just going to be going out and walking with the Lord. Um, so it seems colder now than it did like a couple hours ago. That's just weird to me. But the sense that I got out of this just a little bit with the Lord was that He's kind of impressing on me. I want you to take a deep drink, but drink it slowly. So take cool, deep, long drink. So I don't fully understand what that is, other than I think he's just trying to tell me, um, don't try to take in a lot. Just try to take in a little bit at a time, especially during this kind of new season, if you will. Um, and then on my way to kind of spending time in the scripture, or reading or dwelling in the scripture, or perceiving uh, scripture in a new way, I was like, okay, Lord, how do I do that? Where do I start? And then uh, had he illuminated another book to me, and I think it's like seeing through heaven's eyes. So I started to kind of check that out. So I kind of resonate with it. I just read a forward, so but it sounds pretty cool. So this is pretty cool. So again, I was looking to pursue the Lord or connect to the Lord through Scripture, which sounds like a pretty good thing, right? Just in essence. But along the way, yeah, so I get sidetracked, right? So the Lord highlights this seeing through seeing through heaven's eyes, and so as I start reading this thing, it's like, uh, so this is now the third resource, or the third book in a row that the Lord has brought to the forefront or given to me in the last few days, that is like just very telling for me, or very moving for me. So it's like these authors, obviously they were pursuing God's call in their life, and then they put it down on paper, wrote it, whether it's 20 years ago or 14 years ago or however long ago. Uh, Somewhere along the lines, I purchased these things, again, 10, 20 years ago, and then it just sits. And or I tried to read and didn't understand, but then in these last few days, almost each day, the Lord has highlighted another resource, and as I pick it up, I'm like, wow, this is my life right now. This is my life in the moment. This is my life in this season. This is who God created me to be. So in essence, it's telling me that I'm not alone, but it's also giving me a bit of guideline to what others have experienced that have gone before me. And my process this morning was kind of the Lord just telling me or reminding me, hey, I have a plan for you. I have a way. Um, and so sometimes I'm thinking, oh, hey, I need to connect the Lord this way. And then he kind of, kind of gently brings me back. It's like, no, not now. Or not yet, right? So hey, that might be a good thing, but that's not what I'm calling you to today. That's not what I'm calling you to this morning. So I just am so grateful that the Lord is gentle and kind, and He's showing me kind of just step by step or day by day, and it is just awesome, wonderful, and yeah, it's just really filling me up. So I think I can't even. It's almost like I can't even remember well what happened yesterday or the day before. But today it's like wow, this is such a deep and rich personal experience for me. That's why it's overwhelming for me. And really, that has been my prayer almost every day for how many umpteen years. But just that I would be overwhelmed by the Lord. And I would be overwhelmed by the Lord through His love, through His grace, through His mercy, through His joy. That I would be just undone and be transformed through His love and through His joy and through His grace and through His mercy. So I think He's doing that, and it's just an ongoing process, but it is just really such a rich and wonderful time. So this is pretty cool. So the Lord kind of beckoned me uh, to uh, do a walkabout to just walk a little bit more with Him. So I did that, and in that process, my connection with Him shifted, and some of what happened was so He kind of was speaking to me. It's like, hey, look at my son. Hey, he wants to see like I see, and he wants to feel like I feel. Uh, Look at him go. He look at he's a chip off the old block. So I think I just got a taste of kind of his how proud he is of me. Just kind of or the how glad or happy he is um, about me. Just period, but also my pursuit of more of him. Um, yeah, so kind of just that proud papa moment. And so there's this so for me, this is a big shift because so I've prayed this prayer for probably every day for years, decades, right? So Lord, I want to see how you see. Lord, I want to feel how you feel. And maybe I might have even prayed those prayers without even fully knowing or understanding what I was asking for. But that's okay because today I have begun to walk that out or be that. And I think, unbeknownst to me, this is part of or most of my call is out of this transformation, the Lord wants to use me to serve Him with eyes that see how He sees, with a heart that feels as He feels, and to serve out of His love and to serve out of His fullness. Um, yeah. So then yeah. So then I'm reminded too that okay, as He's filled me, so He doesn't just fill me partially. He fills me to the full, right? And He's already filled me to the full. So I may not feel like I'm overflowing, but really, as He's filled me, it is already to the full. So even that is a paradigm shift, right? So, okay, I think before I was seeking, okay, Lord, as I receive a little bit, then I'm being filled, then I'll serve out of that, which was seeing not fully or understanding not fully is so I was out of kind of the old thinking or old mindset that okay, I received a little bit of joy and I can share out of that even though I'm not full of joy. But really that was not true. Uh, More boldly stated is probably a lie, um, but it is just old mindset thinking. So more now it is as he fills and as he restores, he doesn't do it partially. He does it completely. And it's kind of for me to realize, hey, he's filled me to the full already. So my challenge going forward, which is I guess a good challenge, is to one continue to see how he sees, continue to feel how he feels, continue to operate out of the new mindset and not the old mindset. So again, he's retooling me for this new season or this new era. Um, and obviously because I'm, limited and fallible and all these other things, I'm not going to be perfect in this, but he wants me to just continue to grow in this and continue to hone um, the way I operate, the way I perceive, the way I see myself, the way I see others, the way I serve him. So it's an ongoing process. Again, it's a lifestyle. It's not a season. It is just my pursuit of more of him, and complete and full transformation, ongoing transformation is just a lifestyle. So the essence, I think, for me is that I am being made new every morning, right? And he's going to reveal more every morning. And so there's this kind of image that I've had, and I've probably shared before, is about kind of the transformative process of a caterpillar into a butterfly, right? So I think I've resonated with this as in my transformation process. So am I Hermes the caterpillar, or am I the butterfly? Where am I in that transformation process? But kind of now my understanding is that whether I'm the caterpillar or the butterfly, I'm still the same person. Yes, I go through this transformation process, but I am, even when I'm a caterpillar, I'm still the butterfly. So it's interesting, yeah. So as I kind of pondered a little bit about that imagery, the caterpillar versus the butterfly, the transformation. So yep. So my identity as a caterpillar, I'm still, whether I'm the caterpillar or the butterfly, I'm still the same person. But in the transformation process, I can see from a different perspective, right? And then how I operate is going to be different. So I'm not crawling on the ground. I'm not eating the leaves. I am flying, and I'm seeing from a higher perspective. So, yes, I'm the same person, but in my transformation process, I'm able to see from a different perspective. And I'm able to fly. So those kind of two things kind of resonate with me. Is just seeing from a different perspective, and being able to fly. Something else is being stirred up in the moment, or has been stirred up over the last, I don't know, recent days, hours, is kind of my pursuit to hear more stories. Um, right? So I feel like I'm called to the one. I'm called to a person, not a people group, not a cult, not necessarily a culture, not necessarily to a land, not necessarily to a nation. But I think I'm called to individuals, or yeah. So I think my pursuit is to reach out or look around and look for opportunities to connect with different people and hear their stories. Whatever their stories are, because everybody has a story. Um, yeah. And part of this pursuit, I think, to reach out and connect to individuals, I think it's towards um, immigrants. uh, immigrants are fascinating, right? Everyone has different stories, but it's that struggle, that battle of okay, we're in a new land, and we're in the kind of, hey, we're in America, we're in the land of milk and honey, we're in the land of opportunity, and it's better than where we were, and we're making a go of it. So it just yeah, so there that kind of mirrors, right, kind of in the spirit, right? So we're entering into new land, new season, but something resonates with me as as immigrants come even to America to establish a new life and to grow for their families, to do better things for their family. So I don't know how all of this goes together, but and then throw in a whole other component is storytelling through food or storytelling through right, so ethnic food. So where whoever we are, whatever we do, we bring with us culture, and some of the culture that we bring is kind of taste or food from kind of our home, or what kind of where we came from. And so then there's a story to be told through that. Hey, so hey, this is how my grandmother used to make this. This is how my mother used to make it. This is how I make it. And I'm making it either exactly the same way, or hey, I'm enhancing it because I'm in a new place and I'm taking it to another level. So I don't know. I don't know how this all comes together, but it's just very fascinating for me, and I look forward to it unfolding.